What's up, y'all? It's your girl Trippy BD. I just wanted to come out with another video for y'all, and this is all about my shroom experience. Let me tell you, it was definitely an experience. Now, this wasn't my first time taking shrooms. This was my second time taking them. The first time I took them, I had this amazing experience. And I thought I was going to have the same experience the second time, but it didn't work out like that. And that's okay, because it still worked out for that actually changed my life. And I'm going to explain more about that. So let me tell you about the first time I took them. The first time I took them, I was like a teenager or whatever. I was younger. And I really was like in a good place. I had just got my first little job or whatever. I had some little money on me. And I was in this fresh new relationship. And I was in a good place. I would say. And I had met up with this guy, and we had went to his house. And I had did the research on how much I should take and what to expect and all of that stuff, right? So I really wasn't like prepared, but I knew the basics. So he had got everything ready. He had got some water or whatever. And he had put like vitamin C, that little vitamin C packet in there with some vitamins, because he said it would help the stomach, because it's like a fungus, and I guess it can mess up your stomach if you don't eat right or have like certain vitamins or whatever in you and water in you. So he had put the shrooms in there, and them shrooms was potent. Them shrooms was like, they were strong. The smell was strong. The taste was strong. It was strong, like super strong. And I was like, I can't even eat these. These is nasty. So I ended up eating them or whatever. I ended up drinking it. And the guy drank it too. And he started getting high before me. So he had like this cup or whatever. And he had like, I don't know what, he had these like droplets of food coloring, and he was putting it inside the cup, and then like he was swirling it around. He was like, because he was like, "Are you high?" And I was like, "No," I didn't know what the high was supposed to feel like, or what I was really supposed to expect. So he swirled the colors around. He was like, "Do you see that?" And he was like, do they look all colorful or whatever? Do they look bright? And he was like really Google like really all into it or whatever. And it was like, "Do you see that? Like, this shit is cool." I was like, "No, I don't see anything. I'm not high or whatever." And he was like, "Well, here, take some more." And I was like, "No, I took the recommended amount. The recommended amount. I'm not going to take no more. I'm not trying to have a bad trip." And he was like, "Come on, come on." So he kept like pressuring me or whatever. And like I started feeling uncomfortable around him. So I ended up leaving. And so I was walking. I had called my boyfriend at that time and was telling him like, "Oh my God, like, I don't know why I took these shrooms, but I did, and I'm feeling like weird, and I don't know what to do." And he was starting to make me feel uncomfortable and whatever. I was telling him all the whole spill or whatever, and he got mad at me. He was yelling. I was like, "No, you ain't about to mess up my trip either. I'm not about to have you yelling at me or whatever." So I had hung up on him, and I was just walking, and all of a sudden, like, as I was walking, like 5 minutes later after I got off the phone, I started feeling it. And the trees was like so bright green, like the brightest green I've ever seen in my whole entire life. The grass was green. Everything was super vibrant. It was like heaven. Everything. I was like super happy. I was like, man, like I was in like a whole nother world. I felt like I wanted to hitchhike to the woods and go camping and like live out in the woods. I wanted to like talk to people. I went into this bookstore and started talking to people, whatever, and I end up doing some crazy stuff. I felt real good at that time. So that was my first experience. It seemed like a good one. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to take these shrooms again, because the first experience I had was good. But I was doing research or whatever, and I was seeing how like every experience doesn't always happen the same way. So, I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to take some more. But at that time, I was not in the same place. This was like 2 years later. So 2 years later, I took them again. I was not in the same place that I was before. This time, you know, I was going to school full time. I was working full time. I had my daughter. The relationship started getting rocky that I was in, and I wasn't happy in the job that I was in, and I wasn't happy in the apartment that I was in, and I was holding that all inside, and it just needed to be released. Like, I just needed to face it and deal with it, and that's what the shrooms did. So my boyfriend had brought, or my ex, I was telling my ex, like, hey, I want to do these shrooms again. So this is the place that I was in, and I wanted to do the shrooms again. So he had gave me this eighth of shrooms or whatever, and he was like, well, I'm gonna take them with you or whatever, so you're good, but let me go to the store really quick, don't take them without me. I was like, all right, I'm not gonna take them. So he leaves. I took that whole bag. So I started off small or whatever. I took like 1 or 2 or whatever, and then I wasn't really feeling anything, so I took some more. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna wait like an hour or two. I waited an hour or two. I still wasn't feeling nothing, so I took some more, and then all of a sudden I had took the whole bag. So after I had took the whole bag, I called my ex or whatever, and I was like, well, what's going on? I'm not like feeling anything. I'm not really high. And those shrooms that I had got that time, I was like, I really didn't think that they were working. That's why I took the whole bag, because they weren't as potent as the last ones. Like, they didn't smell as strong, and I thought it was like a fake batch. I thought that they were just dried up regular mushrooms or whatever. I didn't think that they were real shrooms, even though they looked like it. And they just really didn't have that strong taste like the last ones did. So I had told him what was going on, and he was like, oh, well, why are you taking without me or whatever? And then I told him, I was like, well, I just did or whatever. And he was like, okay, well, just turn some stuff on YouTube, watch some colors, or like watch something on YouTube. And I was like, okay, I will. So I turned something on YouTube, whatever, got off the phone with him, and all of a sudden, like, the guy's head started getting huge, like super, super huge. He started looking 3D. He looked like he was coming out of the TV. And he started like talking, like he started looking like just super funny, super weird, but nothing like, wasn't seeing no crazy colors or nothing like I was before. I wasn't like super happy like I was. I didn't feel like all uppity. But at the same time, like, I was in a house, it was dark, it was raining outside, and I was in an apartment that I really didn't want to be with, and I was with a guy that I really shouldn't have been with. And so it was just not a good situation in the first place. So I go in the bathroom after watching this guy look crazy on YouTube or whatever, and I look at myself and I look crazy. I look like 3D. I look like I was what do you call it? I just looked like I was not an alien or something. I looked like a virtual person. Like, it was in this virtual world and in this weird place. It was really weird. So I left from the bathroom and I sat on the couch or whatever, and I was chilling on the couch, and I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna write this out or whatever and see what happens. So I'm still watching the video, and it just starts getting weirder and weirder and weirder. And all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I think I'm getting high or whatever. So I went for my phone to call my ex and tell him, like, hey, I'm starting to get high now. And my phone was dead. So I'm like, oh my God, now what? Like, I'm freaking high, and now things are starting to look weird. I'm starting to look weird. And then all of a sudden my heart started beating real fast. My heart started pounding. I started getting hot flashes. Like, I started getting hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. But real bad hot flashes. My stomach started hurting really bad because I, number one, ate a whole egg, and number two, I don't even know if I ate right before I even ate that egg. I didn't really drink that much water or nothing. So I was getting all these hot flashes. Things were starting to look weird. It was crazy. And I couldn't call nobody to tell them, like, hey, come get me, or like calm me down. So I was getting so hot on the couch, and I was tripping so bad. I took off all my clothes, you guys. I was butt naked. I got butt ass naked. And I was like balled up in a ball with my eyes closed, and I was boo-hoo crying because I didn't know what to do. And my ex ended up walking in on him. He was like, what the fuck? What's going on? Why are you crying? Why are you naked? He was like, why you take off all your clothes? And I was like, it's hot, and I don't know what to do. And he was like, well, open your eyes. And I was like, I can't open my eyes. I can't open my eyes. Because when I open my eyes, he will look different. I would look different. And I was scared. And so my eyes was closed the whole time. And he was like looking, he had went on the computer or whatever and was trying to do research on how to get unhigh, but pretty much people was telling him I needed to write it out. And I knew I needed to write it out too, and I wasn't tripping. And I wasn't really crying because I was having this trip. I was really crying because I was noticing my thoughts. And my thoughts was pretty much telling me that I had to leave him, I had to leave the apartment, I had to leave my job, and I had to leave everything behind. And I wasn't ready to face that at that time. I was still in denial, and it was pretty much being brought up to the surface. So it was like, oh my God, no, now I gotta like deal with this shit. And I was just crying. I was like, no, I don't want to let go of everything, and I'm scared, and I just want to like I don't want that to happen. I don't want to have to deal with this. So I was crying. I wouldn't tell him what was going on, what I was thinking, and why I was crying or whatever. And he was just giving me water or whatever. And my stomach was hurting real bad. So my sacral chakra, I felt this energy in my sacral chakra. And I knew that it was coming from my sacral chakra, the pain. If you know anything about chakras, and you know the sacral chakra has a lot to do with feeling sufficient, feeling like you're financially sufficient, feeling like you are comfortable with your environment and you're safe and stuff like that. So I was in pretty much flight mode at that time. So I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel financially comfortable or any of those things. I didn't feel sexually like comfortable or anything. Just nothing. None of that. So I had this real strong sensation and pain coming from that area, which was really telling me that I had to, in order to get rid of all this pain and all of these issues, I would have to release it. And the only way to release it is just like cut it off and deal with it and face it. And so, sit down, baby. Sit down. I'm almost done, okay? Girl, you better stop. She gonna act like I pushed her. Okay, so
You pushed me.
no, I didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did.
Okay, so like, yeah, I was doing all this crying, so I ended up crying all night long, and then I woke up the next day and I felt completely free. Like, I felt so much better. I feel like I just like got into the bottom of what I was like pretty much dealing with. Finally had to make the decision that I had to face whatever I was dealing with and like make the changes that I need to make to get myself out of those situations, cut my ex off, quit my job, move out of my apartment, and start my whole life all over again. And so, you know, I did. It's been a year. It's been a year since I had that shroom experience, and I can honestly say it really did help me a whole lot. Not only did it help me like with releasing that stuff, but it allowed me to understand how important it is to not suppress things and to really get to the bottom of what's really on a soul level holding you back from being able to accomplish things that you truly want to accomplish, and learning how to release it. So after I quit my job and got rid of the things that I got rid of, I'm happy that I made those decisions and that I followed my intuition. And it really did change my life for the better, because now I'm in a happier place. I'm not depressed. I'm not unhappy anymore like I was before. So that was my experience. That was my trip. Do I say, would I do it again? Maybe if it was the right time, the right place, and the right setting. But do I feel like I need to again? No. Now, would I suggest that other people do it? Yeah. I mean, if you want to do it, then sure. I don't think anything's wrong with it. I didn't die or anything like that. Or, I mean, I'm still living. And I would just say, if you want that like happy experience, you have to be in a happy place, in a happy setting with happy people around you, and be outside in nature. When I did it, it was rainy, and I wasn't in a good place. So that came to the surface for me to have a realization like that I needed to get out of that situation. So, I mean, if that's what you're looking for, if you're seeking answers, and if you want to know on a soul level how you can resolve issues, then I would say then shrooms can help you with that. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and tell you guys about my experience, and let me know if you guys had any crazy experience, because I want to hear from y'all too. I want to know. All right, y'all. Peace.